What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. I got a top 5 video for you guys today, number 2, who is Benny Leonard. A lot of people who know me quite well, they may think that I have a little bit of personal bias for Benny Leonard, which is the reason I rate him so high, and that's really not the case. Those who know me well know that my father is from Pittsburgh, and I follow the Jewish religion, but overall, I didn't choose him, because of that. But those who know me closely know this type of stuff about me. But anyway, just to say, it's not, our personal bias, but I just think pretty much because of his ability in the ring and what he's accomplished. I think he was called like the Ghetto Jew Wizard or something along those lines. But in over 200 fights, he fought over 200 bouts, like 118 wins, 70 knockouts, 11 draws, 4 no contests. If you look at that at his style involved, he was a defensive fighter. He used his legs very well. Set up his defense with his offense. Also, he thought a lot. He was a good thinker. He used to capitalize on his opponent's mistakes. He would counter well. He used the legs to counter and kind of make his opponents look foolish. He didn't have the elusiveness of a Willie Pep, but he had the movement and the legs that a lot of fighters didn't have at that time. And he would confuse opponents by using angles, using his movement, using his legs. And when he fought and he used the angles, he would jab a lot. He would jab and sometimes come over with the overhand right. If you just look at the style involved, he was a thinker. He used to stand outside and he used to think about, what am I going to do next? What's the opponent going to do next? His ability was to outthink the opponent. He would outthink the opponent, and not only would he outthink the opponent, but sometimes he'd make his opponent look foolish. He did a really good job of that. Did a good job of, like I said, using the jab, and he would think. Jab and thinking, and that's really what he did. He won the championship, I believe, in 1916, held until like 1924, or 1970, and held to about 1924. Fought frequently. He fought frequently, and fought some pretty good challenges in his time. I can't really name all the challenges right off the bat right now. I actually been drinking a bunch of Guinness before I made this video. But I know that one opponent with Johnny Brighton. But at the time, he had the rivalry between, actually before there was Mexico versus Puerto Rico, there were the Jews versus the Irish. And at this time, there were a lot of Jewish fighters in boxing. The rivalry was against the Irish fighters. There were a lot of Jewish fighters and there were a lot of Irish fighters. And it was just, and that was the rivalry of that time. But overall, Benny Leonard was actually a beloved figure in boxing. He came from that same, era as Jack Dempsey, another beloved fighter. But overall, Benny Leonard is a fighter that, was very defensive. Suffered 3 knockouts early in his career, and his last knockout, was in his last fight. But overall, you have to appreciate the ability that Benny Leonard had. One of the first, overall defensive fighter. Turned offense from defense. And like I said, knew how to be a ring general using his defense, and knew how to be effective using his defense. His defense was his main weapon. He was a good thinker. He had really good boxing ability, and just had the ability to make his opponents just look foolish, even from subtle movements. So my number 2 is Benny Leonard, but be sure to catch my number 1 tomorrow, and we'll see who it is. Some of you guys may know who it is already, but anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.